Hello, this is William Hopper, and this is my observations about First Baptist Christian Academy is from my 13 years there. I taught there until 2015. So currently I'm not at a school, but I will report on what I knew from First Baptist. Their use of technology was inconsistent at best. They had a Facebook page that wasn't updated frequently, and didn't really have a whole lot for news, or it would sometimes, but not all the time. It wasn't anything consistent. They did have school email, and people would email to ask questions, but mainly it was used in communicating with other schools and things like that, or businesses that they were dealing with. But really wasn't used effectively as a means to communicate with, say, parents as a whole, or in other groups as well. There is a web page. They used to have a page on the founding church's web page, but that's no longer the case. And in fact, this past week there was news that the school has separated from the church and is now independent and has a different name. But during the time when it was associated with the church, they just had a page on the church's webpage, and even then wasn't updated very often. Now, the school did use technology. As I mentioned previously in the previous slide, there really wasn't. While we understand that schools need to utilize technology, in order to do so, though, they need to plan on how to integrate it into their classrooms and into the general school culture. One of the main things I believe is that schools should plan to use one-to-one technology, and when they do so, they have to consider, hardware and software, student and school responsibilities. Need to make plans to have an online presence. Part of that is using an LMS system. In getting the technology, you need to consider the feasibility of the technology and the use of technology to improve instruction. Both McCready and Lumen mentioned that it's important to consider the purpose, availability, and effectiveness of technology. Just because the technology is out there doesn't mean it's the best thing for your school. For example, Professor Lumen mentioned that one school that he worked for tried incorporating Nook books into their classroom, and the Nooks were a disaster. They didn't work with other technology very well, and in particular his programs that he wanted to use didn't work very well on a Nook. And not only that, so they had software problems with the Nooks and hardware problems because the batteries were always dying. So definitely some problems there. So you have to consider hardware and the software. And Professor McGrady pointed out that schools also need to consider the longevity of the program or the system that they're using, and will there be ongoing tech support. So if you get a system or get certain software or hardware, will there be someone there to help you out if there's any problems with it. And definitely, online presence, and a big part of that is using an LMS. McGrady points out that you can use every school needs an LMS, but he would also say that to supplement that, schools should have either Google's G Suite or Microsoft's 365 online as a means to help do some of the projects and other things that you can do with technology. As far as the LMS goes, Lumen mentioned that a school of his used it's learning.com, and that was a pretty effective LMS. And also, does the technology, is it feasible? Does it really help improve instruction? And Professor Newman pointed out that technology did help him in teaching history. When he was a history teacher, when it's used effectively, it can help students work at their own pace, and enabled him to differentiate instruction and help individual students to work and better be prepared academically. Now, in implementing new technology, there's several big. Now, one of the big issues, of course, when using technology is, how do you maintain it? One of the important things to do in using technology is that it enhances the sense of community. And as discussed in the previous slides, using an LMS system and using something like Google Classroom or Google G Suite or the Microsoft Online programs in conjunction with the LMS help in the sense that teachers and parents and students can view these items online and all have a sense of being part of that, and that for parents, they can look and see what's going on and not feeling like they're left in the dark or having to depend on their students or children to let them know what's going on. And they also provide means of communication and understanding of the classroom. For schools, it's important to maintain online presence and also provide resources for parents, teachers, and students to improve their use of technology, using multiple forms of communication, text and emails, Twitters if you have it, Facebook messages, for example, and encouraging the use of social media on those platforms, and recognize the importance of tech outside the classroom. Part of this, Professor McGreedy mentions that technology should be embedded across the curriculum, so every classroom should be using it, and that helps create a sense of community with technology. That's not just limited to the computer lab, but all classes are using it, and if they're using the same system as well, they're all on the same page with that, and making sure the students know how to use it. And part of that, recognizing the importance of tech outside the classroom, the recognition that technology, digital technology, is being used in almost every field now, and getting students used to that and comfortable using digital technology for means other than this games and social media is important, and we play an important part of that, and helps prepare them, as Professor McGreedy also mentions, help prepare them for the future. Professor McGreedy also mentions that parents and teachers need to be encouraged to accept the benefits of technology in the classroom. If they can do that, that will help establish a sense of community with technology. And this can be done through communication, using digital tools for communication and also for training. And training can not only be for teachers, but also for students and the parents as well. Provide opportunities for them to learn the technology that their students are going to be using, and they're part of it. They can, even if they don't completely understand, they just have a general understanding of what's going on, and accept and encourage their students in the use of technology. In social media interaction and using, Professor Lumen mentions, use the tools that students are already using. Most of them have laptops, and they certainly all have smartphones. A good number of them do anyway, and they can access a lot of the websites that you might be using with that technology. So getting a sense of everyone together working with technology to make a goal, and the goal is for education and improving the lives of the students. That's important, and it can be done if everyone's working together for that goal. So, a Christian worldview in relation to technology. I'd like to thank Professor Kevin Lumen and